I was recently in central New York where I grew up and where I really love the landscape. And these are pictures that I took out the car window as we were driving down the road. And then back at home, I was studying the pictures to see where I could begin a charcoal drawing and how I might crop this kind of scene to fit the aspect ratio of my sketchbook. I had to come in quite a bit from that long rectangle that we started with. So this is the first rough layout, and it's just very soft, fine charcoal, and then smudged with my finger, just a compositional sketch to begin with. And this will be used as the basis on which I'll work later on with harder charcoal in more detail. So you can see at this point, I've added some trees and some indication of the field in the foreground. I'm working from top to bottom here because with a charcoal drawing, you have to be careful not to smudge the work that you've already done with your hand. At this point, there's quite a bit of work that's been done in the middle ground. I've added a sky, and I'm beginning to work back and forth with both charcoal and an eraser so that you can bring white details in. And this is creating a greater sense of depth and the illusion of the field going back. And now with a charcoal pencil, I'm adding the detail of the cornrows in the foreground, and with softer charcoal used to show the shading and the undulation of the field itself. I was considering stopping at this point because I like it, but I decided that I wanted to develop the right-hand side of the picture more. And so I went in and added some harder, darker areas that I'm then going to smudge again and work into with an eraser and with charcoal pencil to indicate the stiff stubble of the corn that's close to us that we can see in the front of the frame. And here in the lower right, you can begin to see that. I think we're going to zoom in, and you'll be able to see that it's quite loosely drawn and a good indication of the stubbly corn. Of course, all of that has to be drawn in perspective so that you're seeing it angled in one direction on the left and the other on the right. And now we can just zoom in toward the back. This drawing took me about 45 minutes to do, and I think it indicates the trees there that I really liked in the beginning of the scene. Here's another drawing of a farmer's field near that, with the background that I'm beginning to build up in layers, working both with charcoal and with an eraser to indicate leaves and texture in the woods in the back. And the tire tracks, tractor tracks in the foreground. Again, this is about a 45-minute drawing. Here's another one of a view of the Shenango River near Sherburne, New York, and shows the frozen river, the cornfield again, much less detail here, and some kind of gnarly fallen down trees along the edge of the river. I also wanted to show you this one, which is a much quicker sketch of the scene that you saw before. This is about a 10-minute sketch. And in the details, you can see the movement and the energy of a quick sketch, which is so beautiful in charcoal and is really one of the reasons that I love the medium so much. You can really sense the artist's hand as it moves across the page.